Hey everyone, Morgan here. Water is an essential prep. This goes with me everywhere, all day, every day. I refill this about a million times. And you know what? I take it for granted. I tell you what. And I think we all do. I think we all take water for granted because I can just stick this right into my filtered water in my fridge and get water whenever I want. I can turn on my faucet and get water whenever I want, right? Whether you're on a well or whether it's city water, we kind of do take water for granted. When I lived off grid in the desert and one time in the cabin in Alaska, we were hauling water, and you don't really realize how much water you use on everything and how wasteful you are with water until you have to haul it yourself. And I think that's a really good challenge for everybody to be without water for one day. See how many times you go to the sink and try to turn it on, realizing, oh shoot, I can't use the water today. The very first tip I want to give is store bottled water. So many people are just crazy worried about plastic water in plastic bottles. And I get it, okay? It's not like the best thing. If you can a whole bunch of water in, those glass canning jars, that's fantastic if you have the room for that. It is using a lot of resources in order to can water. You can do it. I've done it. See this video? Yeah, I've done it. Okay, it can be done. But should you? I think it's a lot of work and a lot of effort, but if it's something that means a lot to you, you should. But something that I like to do with this is actually freeze a lot of bottled water. This freezes it, it's good to go, it's ready. Also, another thing with bottled water is you need to rotate it. I did a video recently on a bunch of ways that you can rotate your bottled water. The point of storing water, especially in bottles like this, is not to have it for 20 million years. It is so that you have it around for a few months, whatever, but you're consistently rotating them out, okay? We go to Costco and we get, the 40 pack of water every single time we go to Costco, one or two of them, at least one, if not two. But we are going through it, we're rotating it, but we have so much water, so much stored water. But plastic bottles, whether it's the gallon or, this, or it's the refillable ones, or it's in like this reusable one or whatever, right? Whatever one you're using they are BPA free and they're totally safe. And really the only thing you want to keep in mind is keeping it out of direct sunlight. So keep them either in the freezer, or if you are going to keep them somewhere like a garage or a shed, rotate them more often, okay? I have bottles of water in our car, but we rotate them regularly, okay? And they are not in direct sunlight. They're under like blankets and stuff like that. Yes, they're getting kind of warm, but it's really not that big of a deal, okay? As long as you are consistently rotating it. Now, if you have this water and you're like, I don't want to drink it directly from this. I want to put it through a purifier first, like a gravity fed filter, like a Berkey or something. Be my guest. Do it. There's nothing wrong with that. Do it. It doesn't matter. Water is essential. You can go much longer without food than you can with water. And a lot of the stuff that you may cook is going to use water. However, you can use like canned chicken stock or stuff like that to actually cook pasta or rice in. So that's one way to reduce water. Not only are we trying to find creative ways to store water and purify water, but we need to find creative ways to conserve water as well. But water can be stored just about everywhere. You can stack like these bottles that come in the cases. I would say about 4 high, 4 or 5. 5 I think is kind of pushing it, but 4 high is okay. And then again, just rotate them first in, first out. You can put them in the closet. You can put them underneath your bed. Like I said, fill your freezers with these bottles of water, okay? Fill your freezers. Put a bunch in the fridge. If you have fridge space, we don't tend to have a ton of fridge space, but we do have freezer space. But one of the main reasons that you put these in the freezer is so that when the power goes out, it's making your freezer more efficient. By keeping it cooler longer. This is just a block of ice that's in there now. I conserve water pretty much every day in my life. Because we lived off grid and we had to really pinch our proverbial water pennies, right? We weren't paying for water, but we had to really hone in on how and when and how often and what we reuse water for. We had to, think about reusing gray water and all that stuff. Like, we had to think of so many ways. We had a compost toilet, which I'm going to be talking about toilets and going to the bathroom in a future video, so be sure to look out for that. The only place I would never conserve water is drinking water. I will do any other meal that does not take having to boil with if I run out of chicken stock, right? I will do literally anything to conserve water, but I will never, ever, ever, ever conserve my drinking water, because water is precious. It doesn't matter where you live. Getting water, storing water, is a very difficult thing to do. If you've ever hauled water, if you store water, if you live in small spaces, if you collect water, water is life for every single creature and living thing on this planet. And so the more that we can realize how we use water and how we might be able to conserve water, not just for the greater good of the planet or whatever, but it just seems logical to want to stretch your water everywhere except you're drinking. Breastfeeding or not, I drink a ton of water. I mean, I'm constantly chugging water, and so are my kids. Which is funny because when I was growing up, I don't remember drinking so much water. Did we ever get water? Even though I talked about food first, I think that storing water is probably the #1 thing you should start out with. Actually, let me rephrase. I think that food and water should be in conjunction with each other. Get some non-perishable food, get some water. It's a match made in heaven. Rotate the food and water in your everyday life. Restock that food and water in your everyday life, in your grocery stores, in your Costco trips, whatever, and you will be solid and golden. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And don't forget to be following along in this series on the free workbook, which I have down below in the description. Do you have all your important documents in a binder, a waterproof folder, or whatever? I'm going to be talking about important documents in the next video, so be sure to stick around. And thank you all so much for watching. Conquer Tomorrow by Preparing Today. Let me know how your water storage situation is going in the comments down below. Thank you. Bye-bye.